I've not felt comfortable sort of trying to reclaim my reo. I understand the tikanga for the marae, the things. I know how to think, but I'm not happy to actually talk and speak into that space, but I will do. We can only do what we can do with what we know. And I want to be seen by my mokopuna as having participated, not just sat there and watched. Kia ora everyone. I have enough trouble speaking English in spaces without trying to pretend that I know how to speak Māori in any space. So I'm just going to do my best. My name's Faye. I'm Catherine's mama, and I began this journey as a request from her for something that we could do together as a mother and daughter exercise too, as part of our being involved in our culture. And it's my connection to ancestors through it is I remember so much. I was born into my grandparents' home, and I remember the kaikarangako or the tribe. She travelled with the king to karanga for him for everywhere that he went. And I've been told the numerous stories of how everyone would laugh at me because they say that I was the little pauaru, because she'd get up and I'd go and sit with her, and when she got up I would stand up and blah, blah, blah. And when she sat down, I sat down. And she was also part of the women at the park, because I grew up on Mahi Park. And I remember them all coming, the women would join together and cut the flax, because all the harakeke was in front of our whānau home for the marae and down the side. And they would, all the women would come and they would create the mats for the atia, for whare. That sharing of womanhood and their stories and their laughter and their thing is what's allowed me to remember when I sit in whatu space. And that's the thing that I enjoy the most, because it takes me back to there. Also, in this journey, it's a way of my, this one has brought my mokopuna into reclaiming the language to our whānau after 3 generations. And I felt like I actually had to participate and not let them do all the heavy lifting for us, because they're our babies. And to support my purpose as a mother has always been to just allow my children and my grandchildren to do, and for me to support them in whatever they choose to do with regard anything. But the fact that they've come into culture and trying to reclaim that for our whānau, it's not an obligation, I have a responsibility to support them to do what it is that they need to do.
Trying to be as traditional as possible in all the things that I do, because I feel that that does bring me closer to our tūpuna. Doing things the hard way, doing things the way that they would have learned, that brings me closer to my tūpuna. Even though that weaving was like a lost art in my whānau, everything was lost in my whānau. Mum reckons she can like see it in my hands, what our tūpuna were doing. She calls it generational muscle memory, whatever that is. Yeah. And sorry, I'm just having a whakaaro. But yeah, I feel really, when I do things as traditionally as I can, it really makes me feel as close to my tūpuna, because I'm doing what they were doing, you know. Like, so when I make my first mekakoro wai, that's my plan. I want to have two turu pegs do the first line on that, because that's how tūpuna would have done it. I'm from the north, so I want to work with our northern materials, not just harakeke, things like pingao and kupa, because those are abundant where I'm from. I really want to start working with those. And yeah, I feel like when I do things like this, it just makes me feel closer to them than I do when I just speak te reo or do kapahaka. I feel really close to them when I do things like this, yeah. Kora.
And having my cousin Terence here, whose mama has always been that person who never questioned our connection to whānau, never questioned our whakapapa. And as you know, as a teenager, going through, I know I'm Māori, I don't look Māori, and people don't think I am, so I'm going to make sure that I have my reo. And but you can't see reo, and you can't see whakaaro, and you can't see whakapapa. And the experience of walking the world where, as I continue to learn from my sissy cat and her really important mahi, that our kiri, our skin, and what it looks like and how it's constructed socially, and all of those ideas that go with what our eyes see rather than what our hearts feel and what our ears hear is omnipotent and omnipresent. Omnipotent, it's always powerful, and omnipresent, it's always there. So my conversation with my tūpuna is a bit different. I get pūhai as when I hear people say, you know, mahanga iwi ki tēnei taha, mahanga iwi ki tēnei taha. I've got all these beautiful whakapapa connections, and we have a different relationship to that in our whānau. Just talking before with Kimi about, you know, my generation, so me and Terence and Ethan and Marm and all those ones, how we have to work, me and my first cousins have to work really hard together to not continue to manifest the kind of trauma and pain that our parents experienced in their generation. and not to have the same kind of raru and the same kind of negative addiction cycles and all of that stuff that kind of happened with them, and we could feel it starting to. We talk about intergenerational muscle memories, intergenerational trauma and addictions and stuff that filter down too, eh? So we've had to bring superpower, rocket. And we don't do it all the time, but we do our best.